ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Space Skyrim Episode 5, the Starfield podcast. Today's episode is the Spoilercast, and I'm with my good friend and fellow Starborn, Alice. How you doing, Alice?
Hi, and my pronouns are she, they. So, Rich, last week, we gave you like about 2 weeks to clear the game up and complete the story, so you could be able to hear the Spoilercast. But we pushed it forward because it turns out the main story, I was actually like a third way through, but it didn't take as long as I thought. Like, I could have like grabbed more powers, but I think based on everything I experienced, I decided to make a beeline to completing the main story.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we get to discuss the entirety of the main plot.
I'm excited.
And also in this episode, we get to discuss about New Game Plus and our thoughts on it.
Yeah, so this spoiler cast today is a main quest spoiler cast. You didn't get far, you weren't far enough in the main quest that we thought it was wise to do it last week. Last week you hadn't got to the big thing that happened.
Well, actually, let me put this simply that this only covers the main story of the game, which involves the constellation and reaching to the game's ending, which will automatically either give you a choice of going back to your mobile universe or going to the New Game Plus, and that's the one we'll be focusing on.
Yes.
Well, there's a mission called Unity, and like, oh, wait a minute. Nah, that's a high price to pay.
High price to pay, yeah? The mission, the most important mission in the entirety of Starfield. And the reason I did New Game Plus. So, like, if you're still here, you've sat here for 45 minutes and you haven't played the game, this is where the plot really gets interesting, and I don't want to spoil it for people. So, last chance. This is it. So, basically, you have to make a choice between your two favourite companions, the ones with the most affinity. They put one on the eye, one in the lodge, and you get attacked by the hunter. And you have to decide where you want to go. You want to defend the lodge or go to the eye and save your companion friend. And whichever one you do, someone dies. So one of your 4 romance options, one of your 4 companions dies. So, oh man, it's brutal. And I was really sad about it. And it was different. It was both different for both of us, right? So for me, it was between Samco and Sarah. Sarah was in the lodge with me and Samco was in the eye. I went to the eye and found... I protected the lounge, escaped, went to the eye and found Samco dead. Really made me upset. And Cora was over his body crying. And it was horrible. And I felt really guilty about it, especially because in the previous episode of Space Skyrim, we were talking about it, and I was saying about how much I hated Sam Coe and how much he was pissing me off. And then the next time I spoke to you, he was dead. And like, no, I regret everything. I feel awful. He was my friend.
It just seems at the moment like it has to be one of the 2 or 4 companions who you have the most affinity with.
Yes, as far as I'm aware, that's how it works.
Yeah, which is why, I think it's a missed opportunity. You didn't, have Vasco as one of the people who gets killed.
Not Vasco.
But to be honest, no. But yeah, I was kind of hoping Walter and Matteo would be the ones who get killed off during the quest. But apparently...
Whoa, that's harsh. I'm not a fan of Matteo. He's religious, and the religion stuff kind of gets on my nerves. But no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, completely. So it was different for you. I had Sarah and Sam. You had 2 different characters. Well, Sam was one of your characters, right?
So at the lounge, I can help out with Barrett, or I go to the eye, and I will be assisting with Sam Coe. So... if you go to the eye, you just check up on everyone, and they love you for checking up with them. And also the station there, you get Sour and Andrea. But if you stay at the lounge, it's just extra bits where you just try to get away from the hunter and help Noelle. Yeah. But either way, if you've been to the eye and you get to lounge, because I chose to do the eye, Barrett was the one that got killed off. And no, that sucks.
I like Barrett.
So I then went to the basement, trying to figure out to get to the well, which I knew the way before because I was exploring the research lab, grab some stuff, and they're oh, what's this store there? Oh, it goes to the well. I can get through there. Oh no, the door's locked.
Yeah.
And it would be considered stealing if I unlock it. But the end is just like part of the story, and you have to like go through like this so you can escape to the well. So
when I was playing it, so I defended the lounge with Sarah, and I had to like basically like would be like something will happen and you don't know what's going on, and then Walter gets like grabbed around the hunter goes behind Walter, grabs him around the neck at the top of the stairs by the bar. So I use a jetpack to get up there and try and shoot him and kill him, the hunter, and he gets away then. And then like you have to try and escape through the underground, like you said, through the wells and stuff, which is really crazy. And like he's blowing up like the hunter's like blowing up New Atlantis and stuff, which is kind of crazy. Yeah,
I had that too.
Oh, you still had to do that. So I don't know what happened because I never went to the start. I never went to the eye, so I want to know how it, like. So you still had to go through the well to get to the eye, did you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I still have to. Like, once I get to the lounge, it's already done. Like, Walter, Matteo is like on the floor, and Noel's just like cowered away to the well base underground. Mm-hmm. And that's when I met up with a hunter. There's like, oh wow, there's a hunter, and then all this stuff going on. He's pretty much a tough cookie, like 309, my ideal level. But then they're just trying to get rid of his health, and anything that will like chip away at his health is just like using my legendary shotgun with explosive shells and blow him up and try to get rid of so much of his health. I wonder what... It's like, oh gosh, he's a tough one.
I wonder what would have happened if you managed to kill him. Like I'm sure there's mods in that like you could have. They can make your gun more powerful. They can probably kill him. Like there's probably a way of killing him.
If you took away most of his health, he'll probably like run away.
Yeah, probably.
And congratulate you for being such a huge challenge for him.
Yeah, I guess.
But it just seems like it's a faceless person, which you get to know the person and leave. But I feel this just like not an interesting villain. Like in Skyrim, you have Preferax. I think there was like not the Preferax, the other dragon there, which is like the Megatron and Optimus Prime thing. And I don't know much about the Fallout games, but you always have like villains who are just like tries to have the similar kind of goals as you do and always going for the same goal.
The villain is capitalism.
And I think there's a case with another... it's just another game there. It's just like, there's a hunter there, and I think it's still like more of a demon than a missionary. Yeah. But I feel it's just like... I just feel it just kind of looks more like a Todd Howard's OC in the story. Like he's an edgelord hunter and blows up the whole place there. Well, and it's like, oh gosh, it's just like for me, not so inspiring.
When I first saw the hunter, I was like, oh, someone in Bethesda's been playing a lot of Destiny because he just looks like a Destiny character. That's what I thought, like someone from Destiny, which is not a bad thing because Destiny's a great game, or at least it was back in the day when I used to play it. I thought it was. I liked. I don't know. I quite like the plot and the baddies and stuff. I think so. Is the next mission the reveal of who the hunter is and who the emissary is, or is that like a couple more missions in?
Well, I do add that. I know that the hunter came out of nowhere. It's just like so random.
Yeah.
But I think may have been Eagle Eye. And if you get to go to the bar, like I was looking for some companions to get achievement.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I saw this hunter. I thought he would be a cool companion. And I thought, oh, he must be a bounty hunter. So I talked to him and they're like, oh, you can hire me. Oh, well, never mind.
You can talk to the hunter before that mission because he's just hanging in the bar, which is interesting. I didn't know you could do that until afterwards, which I think is a really cool thing. I think that's awesome.
And then I just realised, like, he's actually one of the antagonists in the game. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, well, that's really cool. Like, I think it's just rewards people for like paying more attention to the story. Yeah. Like you feel as if everything comes out nowhere and you feel the characters don't have any backstory. But if you interact with as many people as you can get and just go explore, then you get to know the nuances of a story rather than the nuances being given to you.
So I was also explaining. So with I was trying to say this to you the other day without spoiling it, but. This whole mission where obviously you lose one of your colleagues, one of your companions. this is the whole reason why I'm doing a New Game Plus. It's because I like Sam Coe as a person. I didn't want to live in a world without Sam Coe in it, you know. So I'm like, New Game Plus.
Even though you find his stories to be annoying.
Yes, I know, I do. But he is the reason I have a New Game Plus, and why I've done New Game Plus is because I wanted to make sure that Sam Coe was alive in my universe, and no one had to die. We could just have fun in my new universe.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that is like the biggest mission in the game. Let us know in the comments below who died in your story. Ooh, I'd love to know.
Ooh.
I'd be intrigued. Because I think it could be any
just
of the four.
This mission, which the next mission is in Unity, and it turns out you discover more about the Unity. Like once you escape to the space,
yeah.
Hunter already catches up with you and has an interesting chat with you, but then he just scurries off.
Yeah.
So you then go to this mission where, like in this one, this is the mission where you meet up with all three religions. So you get to talk to Keeper Aquilus, where you just get to talk about him from the Sanctum Universum. And then if you somehow coming over to House of Enlightenment, where it involves someone who's helping out with the poor, and then you meet with someone from the Valrun, who's a prisoner, who gets to discuss those things. What they do is they talk about things from their own Bibles, like Sanctum Universum. It talks about one person who's like supposed to like meet up with everyone and tries to maintain their peace. There's a House of Enlightenment and just talks about like how like they say about those things, and then you get to the prison, which is an interesting thing because it involves a special person who comes to the specific planet and gets to fight off a snake. And I think, wow, that's epic. But then once you get over to Keeper Aquilus, he gathers all those stories, and these are not actually like the myths of how it happened. These are actually got cryptic clues in it and tells you like where the planet is. And because there's like ad vitam infinitum or whatever that is, he deducted that it's actually Indum and says, oh, it's just like me. And then he figures out, oh, there's a system called Idem, and you had to go into the planet that has a specific day cycles, and that's where you get to find out the resting place of a pilgrim, who's an important character in all three of their stories. So you go through, collect the clues, and it turns out that this is a person who knows so much about the Unity and wants people to know him, but it just ends up like being like crazy and draws people away and just somehow fading into obscurity. And yet you just discover this rest and learn stuff about the Unity. Then once you beat that, I thought that was all part of the mission, but this leads to In Their Footsteps, which is where you discover the Scorpius when you get to the final resting place, and turns out, yep, Hunter's there, and you get to talk to the missionary as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, yep, we get to meet up with this one and that one.
Yeah, so this is where you go on their spaceship, and there's like there's two Starborn, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously you talk to them, and you have the emissary who wants to have the pieces of Unity or the artifacts to do something, and then there's the hunter who wants to also have all the pieces, and he's a dick. That's pretty much it. And then obviously you find out who they are. I mean, should I just should we just say who they are? I mean,
yeah, let's say that. I think it's important to get the reactions.
It's the person who's died in your story. So for me, it was Sam Coe. And I was like, is this some kind of sick joke? It's like, hi, I'm Sam Coe, but I'm not your Sam Coe. I'm a Samco from another Spider-Verse. I mean, universe. It's like, oh. Yeah. And then the hunter reveals himself. And I'm like, oh, who's that guy? I don't know. I was like, who's this supposed to be? I meant to know this person. I think he's is he the leader of the church? I don't know.
Well, before you get on, for me, because Barrett died, Barrett became an emissary. Ooh. And we get to learn about he came from another universe, and turns out that my character has been in other timelines because they come from the multiverse, and turns out there's lots of people there, and there seems to be a canon event where one of the people will get to die. So in the Missionary's original timeline, he was born in the death of my character.
Yeah.
And that's Barrett. And he went on to become Starborn and becomes who is known as a missionary.
Yeah.
But the hunter is always the same. So what you got, Lewis?
Yeah, as I said, I got Sam Coe as my emissary. I would love to see the Barrett story. I would love to see that as Barrett, because I haven't seen it as Barrett. I would love to see that. But yeah, I don't know.
It's very similar anyway.
I don't know who the hunter is. No, I thought I recognised him. I mean, you're meant to recognise him. Is he the leader of the church or something? I can't remember. He's an old dude.
Well, to me, the hunter is actually the... Well, I think it's the same in all playthroughs.
Yeah, it is.
But
I'm pretty sure.
It turns out that he is Keeper Aquilus, the one who decrypted the clues in their story, in other religious stories, and takes you to the planet. And it turns out that the Keeper Aquilus from another timeline became the hunter. And he's basically killing everyone who stands in his way of collecting all those artifacts, get more stronger, and he's out to go for blood and try to get stronger. And then it reveals this substantial thing that Starborns, they travel to other universes so they can collect all the artifacts and they gain more powers. It's like, but you know what this means? Starfield is another bloody multiverse story.
I was going to say...
Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
But this game has been in development for a very long time. And 8 years. So
it just so happens to be the multiverse story.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's just funny that it comes out now after all these multiverse stories, because if this came out 2 or 3 years ago, it would seem a lot more original. It's like, oh, we kind of, it's like, oh, multiverses, yeah, we've done that. And then Todd Howard's like, damn it, this has already been done in lots of places now. Damn. Yeah, people are kind of getting tired of the whole multiverse thing, but just it's not Starfield's fault. It's been in development for a long time, so yeah. But it's interesting. I like the multiverse stuff. I think it's cool, and it contextualizes New Game Plus a lot better, which we'll get into, I suppose, when we get to the end. But I like the whole multi-universe thing. It reminds me of this is a weird reference, but it reminds me of Pokemon. In one of the
Pokemon,
in one of the stories in Pokemon Emerald, I think it is, or the new Emerald on the 3DS. It says each Pokemon game is basically its own universe, and everyone has multiple universes, and they're all connected up. That's it's crazy. There's a Pokemon game that has that, but it's just
what?
Yeah, basically. My Starfield and your Starfield are both different universes, which I think is really cool to think. We have our own universe, and then it's a multiverse of different plots. I think that's awesome. I think that's a dope thing to think. But yeah, it's weird that Pokemon did that as well. It's with all the franchises.
But is it mentioned on the game?
Yeah.
Or is it actually their theory?
It's in the game.
Really?
It's
Did it say that?
It's in the DLC expansion, the DLC after the main quest in the Ultra Diamond and Omega Ruby, I think it is. Omega Ruby.
Is it Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby?
Yes,
is it?
and it is the Delta episode. In the Delta episode, they talk about the what's it called? The link cable is what they call it. It's hilarious. They call it the link cable, which is linking up multiple universes. So obviously, a reference to the Game Boy was the link cable. So it's each version of Pokemon is its own universe. So it's there's an Emerald version and a Ruby version, but they're both they both exist. They're both universes, but they're slightly different because they have different Pokemon in them. And then each person's game has even more slight differences. So I think that's dope. Each universe, each game is its own multiverse, which is crazy. Which is mad to think.
Yeah, that blew my mind because I was going through this, and it's just the character who wants you to get what's known as Rayquaza, and it's
that's
just
the one.
Oh my gosh.
Multiverse is a thing in Pokemon, which is madness.
Yeah, and I think it just makes it really interesting. Let's see, was it mentioned doing the Sky Pillar part, is it?
Yeah, Sky Pillar. Like, it's just before that, I think. It's in that mission. It explains basically it's how they explain Rayquaza, which is it's so weird that Pokemon has the same plot as Starfield. Well, it doesn't have the same plot, but you know what I'm saying, the multiverse theory, which I love having a multiverse theory. I love the multiverse stuff, which is really cool. The shame it's kind of been overdone now in media, but I still think it's a cool concept for sure. Anyway, got off topic a little bit here. So the emissary and the hunters, you have to pick between which one you want to work with, basically. The hunter is more jaded because he's been to lots of universes and everything doesn't seem like permanent, and like everything's everything's expendable. You can destroy a universe and just go to another one, and all that. And then the emissaries, like, everything is important, everyone is important, and all that. We need to get all the artifacts together and save the multiverse or whatever, which is interesting. It's an interesting concept.
Well, in your universe, it's just like, I want to make sure everyone's alive again and make sure they face their bad fates.
Yeah.
To me, I just use in the universe to soak up all the resources and then go to another universe.
All right, you're evil. You're the evil one. I'm just like, I just want everyone to be happy. I was like, that's all my logic. I was like, I'm leaving my wife behind just so Sam Coe can live. Like, that was my logic. I was gonna. So we've basically we're in Spoilercast now. We're talking about the fact the New Game Plus is its own universe. Basically, we've kind of already admitted that now.
Yes.
So I was just going to mention that it kind of bugs me with the game that you start a new universe, but everyone looks the same and acts the same. I would love it. As what I've done in my New Game Plus is I've given everyone outfits and made everyone change their outfits just so they look slightly different to what they did in the original playthrough. I think that's something I would advise people to do. So they're giving Barrett a blue jumpsuit and stuff just so they all look slightly different. I think that's something you could add as a mod. I think would be good.
Well, that's what I did.
You did
gave Sam Coe made him equip a suit. So you try to look him like Adam Jensen from Human Revolution. Do sex.
I love it. I just gave him a normal suit, a normal jumpsuit thing, and then I gave him a baseball cap. So he take his hat off. He had a baseball cap on.
Well, actually, if you go to Paradiso, trying to steal some swimsuits there, and that's the only way you can do that. And then apparently what people did is they gave their companions some swimsuits so they can put Andrea or Sarah in bikinis.
Nice. I mean, no, that's awful. No, just kidding. No, but no. Well, as I said, so with my New Game Plus, I just gave them more normal outfits, didn't give them bikinis. I could do that at a later date, I suppose. But I just wanted to make each character feel different, because it's this isn't my Sarah. This isn't the Sarah my character fell in love with and got married and went to Paradiso with. This is not my Sarah. So I wanted to make sure that she looked different to my Sarah, and I think, that's what I thought was important. And I think that's something if I was good at making mods, people who make mods, make this into a mod. New Game Plus, you just automatically assign a new outfit to each character when the New Game Plus starts. Simple mod to do, but at least it makes New Game Plus feel different, just a different palette change would be brilliant. You don't have to be that difficult. You literally just give them a new outfit every time the game starts up. That would be brilliant. But that was just something I wanted to say.
So then we go to the Miss Beyond Measure, and that's a funeral mission.
Yeah.
So Sam died. So how did it went for you?
So we forgot to mention that. Which one did you go with? I'm assuming you went with the emissary, because you got to choose between the emissary and the hunter, didn't you? Or you could decide to go on your own.
Well, that's a choice you make in Unearthed.
Oh, I thought you went with the
emissary.
Oh yeah, me too. I thought that was in that mission. Okay, fine. So the funeral, it was sad. Barrett had the best speech, I think. Was I don't believe in the afterlife and all that, but you're part of the eternity and all this stuff. Was really cool speech. I really liked it. There's just a photo of Sam at the front. You got to talk to Sam's photo, and Cora was being a bitch. Even though I get why, but she was being nasty. It's like, I hate you. You're not my dad. I'm going in. It's like, okay, Cora, bye. But it's just like, you know, it's like, I get it. You just lost your dad, but like she was being an arsehole.
That's really sad.
It is sad. It is.
Because I'm just glad I saved Sam Coe.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't want to lose him.
I like
But
Sam
then,
Coe.
I don't know, like, I just saved Sam Coe. Like, it's just like you make a decision where you either do the till death do us part and I'll be on my own so I can enjoy my own adventures, or I still be with him to get a 50% XP bonus in bed.
I thought you were going to be like, I'll be with him forever, my true love. And you're like, I'll get 15% bonus. Yeah. I love how like I totally roleplay it. Like, I miss my wife and all this stuff from another universe, and you're just like, I miss my 15% XP. But you know, yeah, Cora's upset, and then her mum comes back and like she's like, I'm gonna take her away because she doesn't want to be with you guys anymore. She hates everyone here in the lodge. Cora hates you, and then she left. So
Yikes.
sad, very sad.
That's sad.
Yeah. Also,
Well,
go on.
for me, I think the thing was that it's Barrett. So all I had to do is like get in there and just like listen to everyone. But then I met up with someone that I haven't met before and get reveal more about Barrett's story.
Yeah.
It's actually the lady who just works and just talks so much about like all those extra people. Like, I don't know if it's Solomon or some sort, but it just reveals more about the past.
Yeah.
And I think this is quite really interesting if I get to know Barrett more. But I think it's just like, yeah, it's a bit touching there.
I like Barrett.
But I think from what you said, Sam Coe is just like a more painful one, especially with Cora now like hating us.
Yeah, Cora.
But I think, and that's one of the reasons why, because I want to save Sam Coe because I don't really want Cora to be like left without her dad.
Yeah.
And I think this would lead to some serious consequences, especially in New Game Plus. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I was also when I did the mission, I didn't realize I was making that decision at the time, and I wasn't going to save Scum. I did the mission. He died. I'm like, well, that's the choice I made. I'm sticking to it. I'm not going to save Scum and like pick someone else to die. You know what I mean? So I stuck with my decision. But that's also why in New Game Plus, I'm like, yep, I'm doing New Game Plus because I want Sam to be alive. I want Sam to live. God damn it!
And listen to his family stories again.
Yeah, I know it's annoying. He could just stay in the lodge or go. I could put him in an outpost somewhere, but at least he'll be alive. You know.
But anyway, so how did you wait for the funeral? Because when you completed like in their footsteps, you get this Miss Beyond measure, which is a mission which activates after 5 days of universal time, which means you had to go that. So how do you skip through that?
So I went back to my bedroom in the lodge, and then when I went to sleep, it said, "Do you want to skip to the mission?" I was like, "Yep." And I just did that. And he like slept for like 3 days until the mission. I was like, that was a very good sleep. It was a sad mission. It wasn't like we're just everyone's talking. I listened to everyone's speech. I did my own speech. Talked to the photograph. It was very sad. I was emotional. I really was. I was gutted. The Sam died. I was really sad, even though I was like saying about how annoyed he was. I still felt sad when he was gone. I really did. Genuinely.
Do you want to hear how I waited for it?
Yeah, go on.
I went over to the lodge and I was going to have a sleep, and it gave me two options, like you said. So I just thought, I'm going to wait for the memorial. And when I did that, screen faced to black, as usual. Then it just been like that for minutes with the music playing in the background, and it just stutters and then freezes. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oops. The game froze. So then I tried again, get over it, and tried again to see if it helps. Game froze again. So I'm like, how has this happened? It's bad.
I've never had that ever. The amount of times I've played it, I've not had it. You've been unlucky when it comes to glitches, I must say. You were like saying, so we did our full Starfield review on Xbox the Box. You were talking about all your glitches you've had, and I was saying about I've not had that glitch, not had that glitch, I've not had that glitch. Only glitch I've had is the characters have got my main character's gone headless for like a couple of seconds, and that's about it. That's like the only real glitch I've had. I've not really had any issues like that.
I don't know if it. I don't know how this works, but I don't know whether it's like skips over the game entirely. And I think it just depends. Like, I don't know if you had a lot of outposts when you did that. I mean, you said you only had one or two, right?
I had 2 outposts, yeah. But that was it. I only had the 2.
But what did you do in these places? Did you just like build your own apartments?
I had 2 or 3 capsule areas to live and all that. I had put one of my crew in there, and I had 2 machines collecting iron and ore or whatever. But I only had 2 or 3 chests. I didn't have you said you had 100 boxes connected together. I had literally one.
Yeah.
I had 1 box for each connected to the machines. So yeah, and I use wind power. I didn't go too crazy with the outposts. I'm going to be doing that mostly now on my New Game Plus to get the achievements. Basically, that's my next goal.
Well, I don't know if it's to do with that. Whether you have more complicated outposts, there may have caused a glitch, because it literally does a lot of the calculations per each hour, and I think it just kind of does a lot of it, which is either that or I encountered a glitch where Samco got trapped in residential district, who teleports to it every time I load up the save, so I had to come over, fetch him from the residential district and do that.
Wow.
Or it could be something else. So I think, to be honest, I think there's a lot of wrongs that kind of led to this glitch, and that is pretty serious.
Yeah, I've never had these issues, which is crazy to me. It's the shame.
I did worry. I did worry whether I was going to meet my dead end, and I don't really want to keep on doing it. So what I did is I looked around. Other people had those kind of problems, and they heard you can just do the mission and head back. So what I did is I went around, did a mission to collect the power, but instead of sleeping in the bed at the lodge, I went over to Venus. Venus has 100 universal time hours for each local hour you spend on Venus. So I went in there, waited 2 hours, processed everything, and then it updates the mission, no problem. So you either you attend the funeral or you wait 24 hours to skip it. Ooh. So I just went back to the lodge and went for the funeral, did that, completed the mission, and it's all done. Great. So I don't even need to use a bed. So if you have a problem with crashing when you use a bed, then come out of it, wait on Venus, see if it works. If not, you may have to do another mission just to clear it up and then try again.
Venus.
Because I think there's a few people who may have had that crash if they wait in the bed. Also, the memorial has got some bugs too. I think that the people had the Sarah memorial, and they may have had game-breaking bugs because they had a loop of the dialogue and just couldn't get it done. So I think there's definitely a few bugs there. But lucky for you, you just don't seem to encounter any of those problems.
Not any major ones.
I think it kind of depends with anyone, really.
Yeah, I didn't really have many bugs when it came to that, to be honest. Yeah, I thought the funeral went pretty well for me. Well, as a funeral can go.
Yeah, it could have been my funeral too, because if I cannot proceed because it would otherwise crash when it comes to the funeral or the game breaking bug, that would have been my funeral of a playthrough too.
You would have just ended it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and that could have been a make or break point that I could have given it a rating lower than 7 for Starfield in the review, but that did not happen. No, not 7, but we won't tell them. If you want to find out what score Alice gave it, you'll have to listen to Xbox The Box episode 71.
Yes,
I think 71.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what was the next mission? I can't remember now. We're getting close to the end now, if I remember, or is there still there's still a bit to go?
Doing the footsteps where you meet up the 2 starborns.
Yeah.
One of them will give you a key that will give you access to the lunar base, and that's where the game gets more interesting. Ooh. Once you get to the lunar base, someone has figured out the way to interact with, which is known as the Jupiter, and just did the experiment, and it's known as Project Prism. Mm-hmm. So someone's in around about 22nd century, so that they just somehow did all those things, tried the experiment, and turns out it works. Mm-hmm. So then it says about what's happened on Earth. So then you get to come back to the past, which is a NASA launch pad, and wow, that's interesting. because you take a photo of yourself in front of the NASA spaceport.
I did, yeah. I did take a photo for the NASA spaceport. So what was I going to say?
So then I just went over to this mission, which is Unearthed.
Yeah.
And the whole mission is about exploring this entire thing.
NASA.
So you get to explore this whole thing. It's very long. You explore the underground, go through lots of locked doors and going lots of corridors. And then you just get to unveil the story. And it reveals this project where someone found a mysterious resource, which according to one of the characters there, who doesn't like the whole thing in the end, she said that this whole thing is something that will make me throw the periodic table out of the window because it deals with an extraterrestrial mineral that causes some like really weird effects.
Yeah.
So as you work through the entire corridor and you get down there, you discover there's an experimental grav drive that's causing the gravity to like you go in the COG space, and then when you turn it off, it's all sorted out. But it turns out that as you explore the logs, this whole thing is what affected the electromagnetic things in the atmosphere and causes Earth to lose an ozone layer, meaning it gets hit with solar radiation. Like, I just thought, like, Earth is just, like, being affected by global warming is what made people move out. Yeah. But no, because according to the story, it's a grav drive that sped up an inedible and gave humans 50 years to build starships and flew out into the stars, which is the point is that it's a scientific breakthrough that involves costing the Earth to do.
Yes.
And what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so that's basically it, what you just said. So, like, the grav drive, as you said, it jumps you forward to... the grav drive is what makes you be able to jump from universe to universe. And that's the way you can do universal travel. But the ability to build the grav drive was also the reason the Earth was destroyed. The power of the grav drive just... Yeah, which is pretty much what you said. Which is, it's like, it's an interesting dichotomy, isn't it? It's like, we wanted to advance our society, but by doing so, we destroyed our home. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Like, so we had to explore the universe and find new planets to live on because we didn't have a choice, basically, which is interesting. Our quest for knowledge is what cost us in the long run, which is really sad, but also makes sense. I was saying before to you that people who are expecting the whole entirety of Earth to be recreated in this game were a bit mad. You know, they got to destroy Earth in some way.
Yes.
It's the only way it's going to be made into a game. Otherwise, it makes no sense. But yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think that's
I think it's just basically like it's pretty bad to like what Earth, and it just turns out like, oh, what's happened in the game is what caused it, and now it just seems to be like everything is all tied and all the grav drive stuff is what's responsible for it. Because I was kind of hoping for the more realistic interpretation of this, but that's not the case. So it's just like, it's kind of a bit bullshitty. But the whole mission is just really interesting because you get to go in the more scary stuff, and when you come out of it, you just have to fight Starborns all the way up there, and then you make a choice: either you side with the missionary, you side with the hunter, or you just be yourself and not join up with any of these Starborn, and just like determines the final mission.
Yeah.
But that's Unearthed, and you can't beat this mission without doing the final glimpses. And what's inside the final glimpses is an Entangled, and this is what I thought this is a mission that could have been best suited for earlier part of the game than the later part of the game. Yeah. And that's where the game gets... It's a very interesting mission.
So Entangled, that's a lot of people's favourite mission in the entire game. I think it's a very interesting mission. It's very similar to the one from Titanfall 2. There's a similar mission in that.
That's what I was going to mention that.
Yeah, there's a very similar mission in Titanfall 2. But basically, you jump between multiverses again. Again, multiverses. This is the whole thing with this game. So you jump between one universe where... So basically, there's an artifact. Well, you find out there's an artifact that they've been experimented on. And it basically either kills everyone apart from this one scientist, or everyone's fine. And he basically swaps between the two constantly. I accidentally saved the scientist and let everyone else die, and I think I did the wrong thing. I didn't realize what I did. I had a choice. I just did the mission. Oops.
So what'd you get for it?
He just followed me out. I was like, "Oh, thank you for saving me." That was about it, really. And like a bit, I think a bit.
But I think you get him as a companion too, because I think he's an only survivor. Because in another dimension is that he died there.
Yeah.
So, but I think what works is that it kind of splits off into two realities where you get one where I think there's the person you're talking about, which is known as, oh, wait a minute, trying to find out his name. It's not even the security guard. Oh yeah, Raphael is the one who escapes into the alien dimension where the labs are overrun by aliens.
Yeah.
And the other place is that it's all fine, but when you get into the lower parts of the lab, you get like lots of robots, you have to fight them off.
Yes.
Then it just goes into this really long mission, which, to be honest, is a bit fun, really. It's a bit grueling too, because it's just like, oh gosh, I hope I don't get into glitches there.
Yeah.
So I just went through, fight all the robots and the aliens, and when I get to the end, I'm like, I need to deactivate all the switches, and and when I get to the computer, it just tells me that if you close this one, this reality will become true. And it's like, yep, I think that's the most likely thing, because if you turn it off, it kind of cuts the bridge between universes.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. So and I think what you maybe think it's like it's two universes, but what it is that it kind of puts us in the Squelcher's cat. You know the Squelcher's cat, where your cat is in the box and you determine whether he died.
Schrodinger's cat. Yeah. There's a cat in a box, and you don't know if it's alive or dead until you've actually observed the cat. Yes. That's, Schrodinger's cat paradox, which is an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what happens with it, and I think it's even brought up with the whole plot of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like, if you interact with this thing that shoots the bunch of a special mineral, which is cellulite or some sort, like the universe, well, the timeline where you get to close it there will become the reality there, and that's basically it. Like, once you turn off the generator, whichever reality you're in will become true.
Yeah.
So I chose like to save the non-alien one and not the robotic one.
Yeah.
And I saved people. And what I got is I got a bunch of stuff. Like I got a special suit on. I got a bunch of money.
Nice.
And some extra goodies. But I lose out on Raphael, which could have been a companion.
Yeah.
But I think it's so late in the game that it's just like, I got the special suit, and now soon I'll be going to New Game Plus.
Yeah.
So it should have been like much earlier in the storyline, because it seems as if they saved all the best missions towards the end of the game.
Yeah, that's true. Like the earlier missions are not so great. Yeah, so I saved Raphael, but I didn't realize I had to make a choice. I literally just did I just pushed all the buttons. It's like boop boop boop, push the buttons, boop 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 boop. It's like, oops, I just let everyone die. Oh well, never mind. The thing with the suit now, because I was going to mention this as well, is that, like, obviously New Game Plus, I'm assuming you're here, you've played it, you become a Starborn. I'm just never ever going to take the Starborn armor off. That's literally going to be my armor now for the rest of until I stop playing. So I don't see the point of getting any other armor.
How far you got into the game?
What?
How far you got into the New Game Plus in the moment?
I mean, I'm not that far into New Game Plus 2. As I said, I've used to be playing Vanguard.
Because I think you can still unequip the armor. I think the only difference is it covers both the helmet, the suit.
You can take it off, but
you can't really.
You can take it off, but it's like one of the best armors in the game, so there's no point changing out of it, really, is what I'm saying.
Beats me.
But what I've been doing is, like, I was going to mention this earlier as well. So, you know, the Mantis armor is one of the best armors in the game. You can get it early on. I just put that on my companion now.
Yes.
So my companion has the Mantis armor, and I have the Starborn armor. So we're, like, OP as hell when we're in battles.
Oh, you went to do the Mantis mission again?
Yeah,
that's wicked.
Yeah, it's easy. I did it. It's hilarious because the first time I did the Mantis mission, I was under leveled, and it took me like 3 hours to do it. This time it literally took me like 20 minutes and literally just ran in there and got everything, killed everyone and just left. Like, yep, that was easy. Yeah, the Mantis mission's good fun. It's worth doing. If you haven't done the Mantis mission, which you should, because it's such an easy mission, you get a nice ship at the end and a nice bit of armor. So, yeah, worth doing. Full show.
But yeah, we're already jumping ahead, and we're going to deal with this last mission.
Ooh.
Like, I thought there would be more missions of this because I was paying attention to the walkthrough. But it turns out, once you did the Unearthed and the Entangled, you get everything done, and you'll be going to Revelation, which is the actual last mission of the game, where whichever Starborn you're with, you end up going to this place where it turns out, I think the pirates are turned into zombies by the Starborn, and you get Starborn Guardians who are protecting it. So basically, this is like, I know the Skyrim is great, like, I know there's spoilers for it. This involves going to the afterlife and you get to fight the dragon, and that's really epic.
Yeah.
And Oblivion involves going into a special dimension, you get to fight there. I haven't played Fallout, so I don't know what happened there. But in Starfield, it's just pretty much a boss rush where you go in and try to get rid of Uber Starborns.
Yeah.
So you just go through like areas where you get the entrance, attack the Starborns.
Yeah.
You go in, you realize there's a bunch of pirates there. You have to get rid of Starborn to stop the pirates from appearing. Then you get in there and you have loads of robots there and you have Starborn. And that's where the level design gets really confusing. It's just trying to figure out how you get through this door.
Yeah,
and then
it was confusing.
Once I found the door, it's like, yeah, that's right. Did it take you a while to like figure out how to proceed to the next area?
Yes, it did. It took me a little bit. I was like, where do I have to go? It was like, why am I stuck? Yeah, it's not very clear. It is a little bit confusing, but, you know, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we could have mentioned about the level design because I think both of us may have experienced that. Like, maybe with a Sarah and then doing the bunch of things we go through the Sol system and we discover the spaceship in the space. So we just went over there and it's just like, oh, we have to take out the engines, we board there, and turns out no one's there. I thought this glitched. And I'm just trying to figure out, where's everyone? But then it turns out, like, if you go to the docker where there's just a ladder there, apparently there's still, like, there. But if you check to be around the ladder, you realize there's another door, and that's where you find all those pirates there. And that's where the level design gets, like, really wrecked, because it just seems like as if they tried to make it like really clever, but they're just doing it paint by numbers with it. And this leads to some rather confusing level design where sometimes you get lost and sometimes you don't exactly like, there's a most obvious exit you can find there. It
can be confusing.
So it's not like it's done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what the game kind of falls into this issue there.
So basically, after you've killed all the Starborns and you get to the end of the area, like, well, it's not the end of the area, is it? It's like before you face the hunter, you jump back and forth between realities, right? I think that's what happens next, if I remember.
Yeah, you just pop into the past and you experience those kind of things, and you get some interesting dialogue. Yeah, it's like, oh wow. I think they're just trying to be clever, the SSD, and like load up those areas.
Yeah,
and
take that, Ratchet and Clank. Screw you, Ratchet and Clank. Starfield did it better. Starfield did it better than you. SSD power. Nah, but serious though. Yeah, like, so you get to see Vladimir holding your dead body, and then you're like, hi, I'm not dead, but I am really. Hi, Vladimir. And Vladimir's like, what the hell's going on? What? You're dead, but why you stood there? It's like, I'm from another universe, and it freaked him out. That was good fun. And the collector, and you also bump into the collector again, and you just end up having a firefight. I tried to talk to him normally, but it just ends up...
Petro, is it? General Petro?
I think that's... Yeah, I can't remember his name. Is it Petro? The collector from Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Look at my collection! It's like... Screw you, man. But I can't remember what else. You went down the mines at the beginning of the game. Is that it? I can't remember what other stuff you like do. Like you go back and forth between time periods. Even like,
yeah, I think it's just like going through these kind of things there, and it just shows you like how you get to those artifacts. Yeah. But then you get into this final area, And it kind of reminds you to be the case because you have a stack of mobile tier weapons right in front of you, and you collect all this armor and medkits.
It's hilarious. You walk into this area and there's like everything you can need: guns, medkits, everything is like, oh, I guess we're going to the final boss then. It's just like stacks and stacks of stuff. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take all of this. I have it all, thank you. I literally just collected it all, like X. Good stuff. Yeah, that was funny. And then you have a final showdown with the hunter.
I think to be honest, like you get lots of duplicates and you get rid of one of the star bonds.
Yeah.
But the moment that I think because we're both sided with their mystery, so it could be different.
Yeah.
You get to face the star bonds you didn't side with. And I think that goes in the part that reminds me of you because I feel like you said about the really epic final battle has you like going between different universes and you get to face him.
Yeah.
And I feel this is the final battle here. And it's like, wow, that's insane. It's like, wow.
Final battle.
Like this final battle has just gone ham on this SSD loading times. Like, wow.
Also, that just reminded me, we skipped over a part in the story which really annoyed
What's
me.
that?
You had to fight 3 starborn ships as with your normal ass ship, and it was a pain in the ass. Like you had to try and shoot them down.
Really?
Like the spaceships before you got onto the planet. Or didn't you have to do that? Because I did. I had to shoot down all these ships in the spaceship before I got into the planet, which was such a pain in the ass. It's like, we're here to kill you and take your shit. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to kill you. I hate... The space battles can be fun in the game, but they are hard, especially with this big group of them. But yeah, you didn't have to do that.
Well,
I did.
Well, I think why do you think I didn't have to do that? Is it because I'd got enough money to build a huge spaceship with all the best parts on it?
No, it's because you just said, what? You sounded like you didn't know what I was talking about.
Oh, no, I did. No, I did skip over the part because I did experience this too. The reason they didn't bring it up because it was like over in a few seconds because I brought over the ship, got the best weapons, and just shoot them all down. And like, oh, I thought I was expecting more ships to deal with, and it turns out it was just 3.
I really struggled with that bit. I was really struggling with that bit. You obviously over-leveled and all that. That took me ages to do. That was the hardest bit of the whole last mission for me. When I got to the shooting on the ground, that was easy, but actually the spaceships, that was the hardest bit. Anyway, so we're in the final battle with the hunter, and we just killed him, right? I mean, you can actually talk to him and stop him from fighting and just convince him to give you the stuff, I think. But I ended up fighting him because, of course I did.
I failed the persuasion challenge and I still fighted him.
Yeah, I did.
But that's no problem because I got a shotgun with explosive pellets, so I just blew them up.
Well, with me...
every universe.
Yeah, with me, it was like, it gives you options, and it's like said, like persuade and all that. And I think I picked the one which was... I'm doing this for Sam or something, like you're gonna die for what you did to Sam, basically. It's like, yeah, that's the one I'm picking. Screw you, Hunter. I'm getting my revenge for Sam. Sam deserves better. Damn it. That's what I did. I wanted revenge for Sam. I like that, so I was happy that I got my revenge for Sam. Yeah, bastard, I hate him. So annoying. And then that's like it, really. And then that's when you got all the artifacts and you build the Unity, I believe.
Yes. So I think the final battle is like really entertaining, but it sounds as if you're not too excited about it. What do you think?
It was alright, it was pretty good. I like the skipping back and forth between time and stuff. Yeah, it was like the battle, so yeah, as I said, it was like the SSD one day. It was just showing off the SSD. So you just jump in from one universe to another. So, like, I'm trying to think what places you end up fighting in. So you're fighting in, like, a big, like, the portal areas. So you get, like, powers at the beginning. And then you teleport to NASA. You teleport to New Atlantis and Mars and Neon.
The Well.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wasn't bad. I thought we were like, yeah, it was good. I kind of got off track a little bit. But yeah, the final mission was really good. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
now we get to the ending, and I think this one is like, I thought the ending is like basic, but then this one took me by surprise because what it is like, I just went into the ship, and because all the time I had all those artifacts on me.
Yeah.
But then I just went over the cool panel there where you just put all the artifacts there. And the next time you get into the graph drive, you get into the different dimension.
Yeah.
Like, did you get like, sometimes where you get in the ship, did you have like companions in the ship or is it just you?
Yeah, I had companions. I said, so basically it goes, say goodbye to your friends before you go into the Unity was one of the options for the story. So like, I like the fact that it like goes, if you put all the artifacts into the Unity and then just grav jump, that's it. So make sure you do everything before you do that, basically, and give you the option. So I talked to Sarah. And she was like, I was talking to Sarah and she's like, I will always love you, and no matter what happens, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, Sarah, no! And I was like really upset. I was like, no, leaving Sarah behind. And, like, she said she'd always love me and all that. And it's just really sad. I was like, oh man, poor Sarah. So yeah, that was. So I said goodbye to Sarah. I said goodbye to Vasco, but that was it. I didn't say goodbye to anyone else. Just literally those two, and I just left. Wow, it was sad.
What I did is, like, after that, on my playthrough, I just wanted to get this over with, but I just basically talked to Sam, who was sleeping in the bed doing the whole mission. It's
lazy
like,
bastard.
He just had those inspirational quotes and said all this about, like, chorus stuff, and it's like, this is really touching. It just really feels like giving him a goodbye or some sort, and I think this is really sentimental, but I had this, like, glitch again when it's just like when I get on the pilot seat, sometimes the dialogue would just be on a loop and Sarah keeps repeating the same dialogue. But when I put all the artifacts there, Cora and Sam's dialogues keep repeating there. And it's like, what? No, stop doing that. And it's been through like that for the rest of the playthrough doing the last missions.
Oh, damn.
But this added the effect that all this dialogue keeps playing on the loop as I travel through all the stars. And I think it just seems like you have all those memories playing out in your head as you get into some epic sequence where he shows you the entire ship from all angles and you get into this gravity thing, which you then enter Unity. And it's like, wow, that's spectacular.
And now we're in the Unity where you meet a special someone who has seen all realities, and that special someone is.
Let me get through this first. So then I was like looking myself there as just like standing before this thing, and I thought there was just illusion there. So I just walked. I was like standing there watching myself there, and I thought, this is it, and there's nothing. But then I pressed on the thumbstick and like, oh, I can move.
Yeah.
So I just moved over to myself, going over there. And then myself has been talking to me, and that's the first time I heard her voice. And like, what the?
Yeah.
And I just got really creeped out by that.
Hello,
so you got that too, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, like when it cut to like space and you can see stars and all that, and you just my character in the distance. I was like, I didn't know what was happening. I thought it was a cutscene as well. And then I was like, oh wait, no, I can move. Okay, but yeah, you like talk to yourself. You talk to an alternate universe version of yourself, and they're like, I know everything that has happened and everything that will happen, and you are awesome. And do you want to join the Unity, or do you want to go back to your wife and family and have fun times, or do you want to start a new life as a starborn? That is interesting.
So basically, you either go back to the normal universe and have 3 kids, or you go into the new universe and get Sam Coe.
Hell yeah. I'm bringing Sam Coe back to life. I'm marrying Andrasia this time, and I'm going to do all the side quests. So I've started a new game plus. I was really excited to get the new...
did you just walk...
Go on.
Did you just walk into the portal that's after you talk to yourself,
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that's what I did.
Yeah, just walk straight into it.
Well, I found out in this ending is that you see those figures there, and I thought it was just there, but it turns out that if you walk over to them, you get this playback of this thing.
Oh, okay.
There's visions of when you beat in factions. It tells you the outcomes and how the factions you helped out
That's cool.
ends up spreading the influence throughout the universe, and it reveals the consequences of your actions. Also, you have this person like there that you're married or you've befriended. Like for me, it was like Sam Coe, and because he was there, he's just like how much he's gonna be good to this family. But I didn't read the whole thing, but I think if I feel about Andrea saying about people that fell through, and I think that outside to be more compassionate.
Okay.
Whereas Sarah is just like inspires children to become better explorers. And I think it's just a case of how much the influence spread to the younger generations.
That's cool.
And I think it's very touching and how your actions contribute to the new universe. And it's like, wow, it's really interesting.
So obviously,
So then you went into Unity,
And then-
got the credits rolling. And what really sucks for me is that I don't think I get to hear the Imagine Dragons song, because that could have been played during the whole credits scene.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's a disappointing.
yeah. So you
Yeah.
step into the Unity, and then it's just you pan out from the stars. You just keep panning out through galaxies and stars and more stars and more stars until you're like really far out, basically. And then it's like, yeah, and then credits, and that's the end.
The credits were some basic music and not Imagine Dragons, and that's what disappoints me.
Yeah, damn
But
it.
then it instantly creates a save, and there's a glitch where you cannot access your inventory. So what I did first is access, let's see if I have a few my items in inventory. That's fine. Did a quick save. It works. And this playthrough is good because I think some people had problems accessing the inventory or even like saving the game.
Right.
And that's what the problems are.
I didn't know that.
But then you instantly wake up in your starship,
Yeah.
go into the seat, and then you go to the New Atlantis. Then you go to a lounge, and then turns out, yep, you got the crew there.
Yeah, so
You haven't been to your other self haven't got to the lodge yet, and then you have two choices. Either you decide to go through this main story again, or you tell them everything about Starball, and then you skip the quest. So, you're saying something?
yeah, you kind of skipped over like the important part. So basically, you went through the credits had played, and then you have a brand new piece of key. You have no. So you write on the actual notes for the podcast what stuff you lost and all that. So you kept your levels, your skill magazine, your traits, your background, your powers, your research lab progress, and your name and appearance. But you lost all your weapons, all your armor, all your inventory items. You lost all your quantum essence, your ships, your outposts, your mission progress, your romances, and your systems. Which is sad you miss all that stuff. But
I didn't realize you lose continences as well.
yeah, I'm just.
But yes,
well, that's what you've put on the page anyway. I'm just reading your thing. But yeah, so you obviously you become a Starborn, so you lose all that stuff. But in return, you get the new Starborn armor and you get a new Starborn ship, the Guardian, which. I was really basically the whole reason I wanted to do Game Plus. Like, yeah, I want that ship. That ship is really cool. And I was like, oh, it only has 2 guns. It doesn't have 3 guns, and the cargo wasn't as big as the cargo I had on my old ship. So I'm like, oh, it's a bit of a letdown. And then I looked up like
apparently
you can get better
apparently
ships.
if you go through this new game like 6 times, you mix out the ship.
Yeah.
So I think it affects the performance, but I don't know if it affects your cargo.
I was going to say, no, it doesn't change the car. It doesn't really upgrade your ship much. I literally looked at all the comparisons. Like, the cargo stays the same. The only thing that really improves is your shield and your hull. I was like, oh, well, that's lame. I don't really want any... Like, it doesn't really...
That is lame.
You just don't get much for it. Yeah, so... We're in New Game Plus. You do New Game Plus 1. You were just saying, so you go to the lodge, you speak to Sarah, and then you start a new story where you can either... So you basically you can do New Game Plus as many times as you want, and you unlock new stuff and do a New Game Plus.
So you either like you get to play the whole story, and it gives you more XP and credits, or you can just like skip the story and just collect all the artifacts, which takes a few hours to do. I think I decided to do that. So it's there. If I've done all the quest lines and I want to like complete the game again, and this time I'm hoping I might do the sandbox theme, because I think it's a ship is underwhelming. The suit is kind of cool, and I don't mind that. And I think I like in the actual playthrough, it's just like, yeah, just gonna do that and just like have everything at my disposal. That's it. Sandbox. So let's wrap this up. So what is your quick thoughts on the main story? What do you feel it's like a really good story?
Yes. That's my quick thoughts. Yes, it is. No, I'm joking. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I felt really emotional seeing Sam die. That really hurt me emotionally. It hurt my soul. And I thought it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it going through the main story. I'm really looking forward to doing all the side quests now, because I think the Crimson Fleet thing was one of the best stories in the game, and we will get to that in a future episode. But yeah, the main plot I thought was great. I enjoyed it. This is my favourite Bethesda game ever, and I really enjoyed the plot. So yeah, I'm happy with it. How about you?
To me, I just feel like when the reviewers review the game and they feel like as if the story is lacking, I think the game is tailored that if you want to play it for the story, you have to work hard into other avenues. And that's why getting to talk to your companions more, getting to know them more, and you even have to explore the story just to get the whole down through. But I think, to be honest, the main plot, like if you're just going through it only, you miss out a lot of details.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of history in the Vanguard storyline.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff about the Freestar Collective, and you get to know what's going on there. And I just feel like if you stick into the main story, then you just miss out a lot. And I think that's where people are like missing a lot of the nuance there. The villains are a bit uninspired, and it's not that special if you think about it. But then I think the best thing about it is that it has this whole backstory to do with the Starborns and how Earth came to there.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell Bethesda poured so much effort into it. But I think it's not best executed. Like the characterization is just like, well, on the surface level, not so great, but it kind of expects you to like work hard for those. And I think it's just what makes or breaks the whole story for everyone. I mean, to me, it's just like not that special, but I think I kind of like see it through the missions and everything. And to be honest, I think they saved all this best stuff till the end, and I think it's great. Yeah. But I think if anyone like only plays it for a few hours and get to explore the story, I mean, it just depends if they're into the Bethesda loop, and if they don't like it, then they also don't like the story without actually spending more hours into the game. So I think it's just pretty much a huge commitment just to like get the whole story in. Like in some parts it's really well written and does a lot of things really well, but it's also very emotional too.
Yeah.
But in some areas it's just like on the surface level, it's just like not so great. But I think there's a lot more to Starfield than that. But I think it just depends on the people's enjoyment of the game as a whole, because it acts as a bridge between them and the actual story with it. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I personally really enjoyed the story. I thought it was interesting. I think it might also be down to personal taste a bit, because, you know, like, I'm more of a sci-fi person. I don't really like fantasy that much. And I really enjoyed the world and the setting, and I think, like, world building's great in this. I really enjoyed it, and I thought like... No, I was going to slag the story off, but no, I liked the story. I thought the story was good. I know multiverse has kind of been overdone a bit, like multiverses now, because everyone's bloody doing it. But it's like, it's not their fault that they kind of, like, this game's been made for like 8 years now, maybe even longer than that, and it's like the multiverse thing's become popular in the last couple of years. So it's like they didn't really know that was going to be a trend. They're not copying anyone or anything, you know. I still like the multiverse stuff. I thought it was really cool, and I like the Starborn thing. I think it's interesting. I think it's weird that there's not like aliens in this game. They're like humanoid aliens. It's like only like monsters. But I'm hoping that maybe in the DLC and stuff that we can get like people who like humanoid type of like aliens that are actually like conscious and can talk to us and stuff. I think that would be cool. But you know, I'm hoping that'll be something that comes up in the DLC. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I like the story.
I think it's just got me more interest for the DLC too, and hopefully we get to have more stuff there. But I think it just leads to the problems that the story doesn't actually explain much about the Unity. It explains about the Starbones or why, but Unity, it did not cover the ground much, and it just kind of treats it as if it's the Eldritch abomination. But then it just seems like whether it's a paradox or not, but you just feel like more could have been explained about it and how there's stuff there. And I feel it just kind of relies on the... Yeah.
I like how it's a mystery. We don't know who built the Unity, why they built the Unity, how it's like existed. I like that. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's like a nice mystery, to be honest. Like almost like a religious thing, like who, like where did we come from? I like that stuff personally, but that maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I think it just tries to make it look like a Lost TV series where it just deals with an unexplained thing and you just couldn't figure it out. But I think really it's just like there's Unity, and it just seems as if like it's a more of an extension of this universe, but it just like how it doesn't explain it just seems like as if it's part of the universe itself. But then I think it just seems to be more tacked on. It's just like when they did the grav drive and it gets rid of that atmosphere, and I was kind of hoping that it'll be an environment that convinced the humans to go out. But then when it ties in with the whole theme of like having to sacrifice everything just to get something better out of it, I think it kind of ties in, but it also kind of sounds a bit bullshitty too, if you know what I mean.
I enjoyed. I thought the grav drive destroying the Earth was a great plot device. I really thought that was really cool, but okay. I mean, we disagree on this, I think, quite a bit. We should probably start wrapping up soon.
I did actually enjoy that plot twist too. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just something in some different angles. It's kind of bullshitty. But but I think, to be honest, it's a neat plot twist, and it just gets us understanding about the theme too, and that's what I really enjoy about it. So
I think it's got a good.
I think there was a lot of clever ideas too, but it kind of feels like a bit heavy-handed in some places. But yeah, it's just me being really honest and modest about it.
I mean, yeah, we have different opinions when it comes to this. I just like the world building and I like the universe itself and all that, and I think it's a really interesting story, and obviously there's still mysteries. I'm looking forward to when Matt Pat gets around to making a game theory about what is the Unity, who made it, all this stuff. Like, and just a theory, a game theory. I'm looking forward to that. Like, that's going to happen at some point, hopefully, because this game's popular enough. So I'm hoping that'll happen anyway. But yeah, and also maybe they might talk about who made the Unity in the DLC. You never know. So obviously we'll be back doing Spoilercast for the DLC as well at some point in the future, probably, maybe.
Yes. So
yeah, I enjoyed this game. I thought it was great. I know we kind of differ a bit on the plot, what we think of the plot, but I think this game is it's interesting, and it's definitely Bethesda. It's definitely a Bethesda game. It has all the Bethesda Bethesda stuff to it. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Did you enjoy the plot? What would you rate this game out of 10? Who died in your run? Are you doing New Game Plus? How many New Game Pluses are you going to do? Just let us know, like all this stuff. Any of that stuff. Just let us know. I would really appreciate it. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Because we're going into nearly 2.5 hours now, so I think we should probably start wrapping up.
Yeah, we should. So we thought we'd do this in an hour, but turns out we have so much stuff that we did it in like more than double what we intended to do.
And we didn't even cover the side stuff either. We didn't even cover the Crimson Fleet or the UC or anything like that, which we'll be doing next time. But yeah, it's
yes,
we've covered a lot, and it's just the main plot.
Yes,
and it's just the main plot. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah. So with that in mind, thank you for listening to this special episode, and I really, really hope you have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for joining us, Starborn.
Space Skyrim, the movie.
The movie, yeah.
The main plot.
Yeah, this is a long bloody spoiler cast. But yeah, thanks for joining us, fellow Starborns. Let us know what you did. Let us know about like all that stuff in the comments below. We appreciate it. We're still a newish channel. We've put extra time in to just do the special spoiler cast for all you guys. So I'm hoping you guys appreciated it. If you did, please leave us a like and a comment. And if you want more content from us, if you want like stuff like our Starfield review, tune into X Marks the Box and subscribe to our channel. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching. Is there anything else you want to say before I wrap it up?
That's all. Let's wrap it up.
Brilliant. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Let us know in the comments below how you did with your Starfield, and make sure you share it with all your friends and all that. And until next time, goodbye, Starborns. Bye.
So long, old universe peasants.
Bye, Star
and welcome, Starborns.
Star-Lords. Let us.
Okay, see you later, Immishery.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.